Welcome into the Dedicated Podcast. Ben Spicer and Johnathan Mumphrey. Thrilled to return back to the boot for today's guest. We've got Coach Ernest Harvey of the CM Naturals. A
Yes,
program
sir.
set to
Yes,
go
sir.
into its fifth year. Coach, excited to have you on. You've been training for over a decade, coaching now with
Yeah.
the Naturals, going on your fifth year. Excited to have you. How's things going down in Louisiana?
Going great, man. Going great. Like I said, we beat the hurricane season. We got hit with one, but not too many damages. So we've been blessed out here. One few more days, like 8 more days, hurricane season over for us.
Man, I've been kind of scrolling through. I'm a big research guy. Mump knows that. I always try and research as much as I can. And I was going through the Facebook
Yeah.
from your Facebook as well as the Camp Moula Facebook, and just seeing the growth, man, from all the way back in 2015 to now. Like it's
Yeah.
exciting to see it, and getting to know you in the 7-on-7 ranks over these last couple of years makes it even better. You have several players who you've trained and seen come up that are now in the NFL. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that
Blessed.
coming up. You've also got the Natural Sports Complex, and you've
Mhm.
moved from football to other sports as well. I think I saw some baseball, softball training going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do some other sports also. So just kind of reflect on the journey a little bit. Like, how surreal is it to see how far you've come over the last decade?
Oh, it's amazing. Like I said, it's a blessing to be here to help people. Whenever you can get somebody when they're young and they tell you their dreams and aspirations, and you can do your part to help them get there, is always amazing. It's kind of addictive. Once you do it once with one kid, you want to do it with everybody that you try to touch. So you try to reach as many as possible. This Cal Moula journey has been amazing. Of course, there's always bumps in the roads, but we always stayed true to the work and just kept our feet to the ground, working hard. So we finally seen some things. Got some guys playing D1 football, some guys in the NFL, some guys getting degrees for free that might not play ball after college. But our main goal is a degree for free, and if we can get some guys that get paid off of football, we will do it. But the real blessing is to help somebody that come from a situation like I came from.
Well, Coach, right there, that's the whole podcast is called Dedicated Podcast, and you
Yeah.
just made a point. Kind of share with a little bit about who's Ernest. A lot of people see you on social media. You've been in the training business for a while, but kind of tell us what made you so dedicated. What's in your youth life? I know I always share a little bit of personal with me. I'm a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned than you guys. I came through the 80s and played college ball in the 90s. So we kind of got hit with the crack epidemic in our household.
Yeah.
That kind of formed and developed me to dig deeper and to be more of a protector for my mom. So that's when I discovered weights and training. Nobody really probably taught me. I just understood I needed to get stronger to be able to do that as a young fella. I didn't know it was going to translate into playing ball.
Mhm.
And thank God it's really, something that could have been very bad turned into something a
Definitely.
blessing for me to put me on my dedicated journey. Share with us kind of, where you give us a little hometown feel of where you are and what kind of was that moment in your life to get you on the right track to be who you are
All right,
today.
well, it's crazy you speak on that, Murphy, and I could really relate to what you just said with the the crack epidemic because as a young kid, almost all my life, my mom struggled with crack addiction. Till this day, she still got a little problem with it. It's not like she used to be when we was growing up, but man, it was crazy. Like a lot of days I didn't see my mom because she was in the streets, dealing with such a strong drug. Even when she was trying to kick at times, it just she'll be clean for a little while, then she'll go back to it just because that drug is a very strong drug. So somebody that I really commend anybody that has dealt with that and has come clean because I dealt with that as a young kid, still dealing with it as a grown man. So I come from a situation to where I was a star football player in 10th grade, dealing with all the things that I was dealing with my mom. My dad wasn't there too much. He was sometimes. So my parents never really got to see me play a football game. I was the man on the team scoring touchdowns. My grandma came maybe once or twice. She was there for senior night and some other special nights. But my grandma is really who raised me when my mom was in the street. I lived with my grandma practically my whole life. Me and I got 3 other brothers. I'm the oldest of 4. So it was put your big boy pants on as a young age.
Yeah.
We matured early because we had to do a lot on our own. At 10, 11 years old, when kids was enjoying their summer. We had little small summer jobs just to help with bills. Even though, you know, your mom's still struggling with this and, you know, she's probably taking stuff out the house to get to what she needs as far as her addiction. It was crazy. You learn a lot going through that in a household like that, but you lean on your values. My grandma put very, very strong values in us as young men. We got 4 boys. All of us graduated. I felt as if I really should have went and played Division I football. I didn't know nothing about it, but I was that good. Made all state, maybe top 3 in the state my senior year. 1,000 yards. Who knows how many catches? Close to 10 touchdowns. It's just that I didn't know what was going on as far as recruiting and what's next. So I had a coach doing all that for me, and he's the guy that coaches me right now. He coaches my 18U. He's my head coach. He was the guy that taught me everything I knew about football. He introduced me to the college. He was handling all of my recruiting, but something happened with him, and to where he had to leave for a little while. So I just kind of fell to the back burner, and I didn't go to school for football. I went to Nichols as a regular guy. I went out for the football team, realized they was running a triple option. That wasn't my thing. So I'm like, I'm not going out there. I come from catching the ball, scoring touchdowns. So I just ended up a regular student. Man, I tried to do some things on my own. It just, I had nobody to help me. Nobody I could call and say, man, I want to do this. Can you help me? It was tough. So I just started playing a lot of travel, 7-on-7. Won like 5 national championships playing 7-on-7 as a player, playing quarterback, playing receiver. The team I played for, we never lost a game. If you heard of Fighting Cancer, team that won $1 million, I was part of starting that team. We was the go-getters first. But after that, I got a job, started working. I felt like it was time for me to be the family man, stop giving my weekends to this flag football. I'm enjoying myself. But I got laid off after like 5 years working in the off field. So I was off, collecting unemployment for a little while. That's when I said I need to start training, seriously. Because I was always training when I get off from work, spending a little bit time training, and I wasn't taking it serious, just helping kids that wanted to get better, be better football players. We wasn't even looking at college ball too much. And then I got laid off, and that was the sign that God sent me to say, hey, your calling is to help people, to give people the help like you need. You need to show people what it takes to get to the next level. You need to put them in a lane to where they can experience some things that you didn't experience. We didn't do family vacations as a young kid. If I left Thibodaux, it was because of sports, Video All-Stars. So I wanted to give that back to kids in another way, as far as not just having fun, though. We want to have fun, but we want to try to take advantage of these opportunities and try to get better to where, like I said, get this degree for free. So that's basically where it comes from, man. Just having nobody as far as like a parent to say, hey, man, you're doing great, do your thing. It was tough as far as support. I just want to be that person in my community that I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? We grew up getting toys from the Christmas toy drive. So I do toy drive now. We grew up depending on school supply giveaways. So I do school supply giveaways now. Just basically continuing, you know, to be a model in our community and giving guys the opportunity with their football.
Man, I really appreciate you sharing. We we've never had a deep conversation, so we have a lot more in common. So I definitely can relate to you. I didn't know even more. I didn't even know that you didn't know anything about scholarship. I didn't learn to my that you can even get an offer for college my sophomore year when my cousin started to get really recruited. I didn't even know that was an option coming from a small town in East Texas. You know, but you know they always say what don't kill you makes you stronger. You know, and you look back in life, man, and you think about these things when you're staying up at night and you're wondering, you know. I know in my household, what was going to happen? What was the person that was going to come into the household that night? But then you can't, you know, where my mom and what strong women teach you is, hey, when you leave the next morning, you got to be put together. You don't let people know what's going on in the household. So you got to always.
The hurt can't show.
Can't show it. You can't show it. And I think that's what makes. I think that's what really, you know. You tell me if you think this kind of turn us into those men that we dig deep and we have to learn how that there's a lot of other people with the same stories out that we can lean on and work with each other that can understand our journey.
Right.
So
Right. It makes you strong, man. Seeing your mom go through that struggle, you can look at any other situation and be like, man, I can get through this, because I'm telling you, it's crazy. That's a crazy situation to be in. I wouldn't wish that on nobody, especially a young kid. You know, mom is a big part of your life. So, you know, you see mom struggling with that, it can make or break you. And then, you know, you can always say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the streets. My mom in the streets, nobody gonna tell me nothing. So it's easy to fall up under that umbrella of doing stuff and starting to get arrested. Maybe, you know, it's so many different ways you can turn when your mom in the streets, because that's the person that's, you know, supposed to always be there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, when people look at the coaches in the organizations in our sport and what we do, they don't know. And this is the whole purpose of our podcast is I want people to know the real men that are out here making changes in a day-to-day thing. And you're a real man that's out here really doing it. You're not talking about it, you're really doing it. You took what was something that people can see that, you know, I know Louisiana is like Texas, really, you know, they want every black man to go to jail. Pretty much they're building all these prisons and not to make these choices.
Those make their money.
Exactly. You know, people can say that, hey, that was the easy route for both of us. I mean, it could have been an excuse. But because you have some other strong women, you make a change and look at the impact that you're making in life. And that's what I want people to know. That's what this is all about. But Ben, I didn't mean to step into that, but I just had to, you know, really, really give you a kudos, Coach. I did not know that you didn't play at the next level because your IQ.
No, I didn't, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. If I play, I think, I'm gonna tell you, if I played on the next level, I think we would have had a head start in 7-on-7. My name would have been a little bigger, you know. They would have been, hey, wait, he went over here. You know how they go now. You know how they go.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what grinders do, man. And that, but
yeah. I feel like hey, me being a regular guy and being able to stand on side of some of the guys that got teams that's in the league, it's crazy. I love it. Just, you know, hey man, where you played at? Nowhere. You know, it's crazy. So it's fun though. I love it.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to look back a little bit, and you mentioned that you were training, you know, when you had the job before you were laid off. So what kind of ultimately got you into training to begin with back then and coaching? And then how did you kind of parlay that into the 7-on-7 after training? Because I think about 5 years in the training, you started the CM Naturals, right?
Yeah. So I really took training. If you heard the name Trevon Reed, he went to Auburn University. He's a guy from my city. He came to me. He was one of the guys that was one of the most recruited guys I had ever saw in my city. He came to me. He knew I was a real good football player at Thibodaux High. He knew I knew what I was talking about too. So he came to me. He was like, man, look, they recruited me for this, and I know nobody can help me the way I need help but you. So me and him started doing small sessions. It's crazy. He was like one of the top in the nation. So I ended up training Jarvis Landry with him one day too. So we was doing small work, but like I said, I was still working. I would pull up to the training session, man, school bag full of tape measures. That was my cones. We using tape measures for cones. I would take my slipper off, throw it. Hey, look, we gonna step around this. I had no equipment. So we was just freelancing, using what we could use. Take your shirt off, put the shirt as the cone. So we was out there getting better. And then he went to Auburn. And once he got to Auburn, he was like, man, I appreciate you for training with, how can I help you with anything? I was like, man, if you could do anything for me, send me a package of training gear, hurdles, cones, or whatever. So my first package came and I took it from there. And after that, started doing fundraisers, started buying all type of stuff. And every little piece of grass I found, I would train at. Anybody that wanted, I started doing it for free. We'd have 30, 40 kids out there working for free. And then eventually I made it a business, put a little price on it, and took it a little more serious. And once I took it a little more serious and people saw that way, he's not playing. He's really out there every day. And then guys started getting offers. Once the guys started getting offers, it was like the floodgates open. You gotta understand, my first main guy was Amik Robinson. So he came in as a 2-3 star, playing with the bootleggers. So everybody kind of knew about it. And he was a different monster as far as training. So it started with him, and then it came with Guys like Ja'Kai Douglas, that's at Florida State right now. Jalen Lucas, Florida State right now. Stephen McBride just graduated from Hawaii. Tate Martin playing with the Tennessee Titans, but with the 49ers for a little while. Mason Smith right now with the Jaguars. I could continue to name guys that came through that we didn't help. And it just caught like wildfire. And after that wildfire spread, I was like, what can we do more? We need to do more. So I was part of the bootlegger program, still under the bootlegger umbrella. But I had guys that I was training that I felt needed the opportunity to play 7-on-7 that the bootleggers would never pick. Because they're about the best of the best, no matter what state you're from. If you're one of the top guys, you'll play with the bootleggers. So my top guys was playing with the bootleggers, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna start the naturals. And I'm gonna take my guys that I train, and this is gonna be our off-season program. So I started the naturals and I started having trials. I realized that quarterback is not a position in our area that we developed. So our quarterbacks came outside of the area, and that would opened up everything for us. Wow. Guys from all over started popping in. New Orleans, Bogalusa, Mandeville. They started coming hit me up. Hey, coach, I'm looking for a spot. And this is all underdogs guys. This is not guys that you can say, oh, yeah, I know you. You got this offer, that offer. You're a 4-star, you're a 5-star. These are guys I had never known. Coach, this is my first ever playing. Like Ashton Levi, he had never played 7-on-7 before. And he was that guy out there. It was just, it was just blessings on top of blessings because we had so many kids that wanted the opportunity that nobody knew about. So once I did that, and after our first season, that first little taste that we got, I was like, oh, no, we got to take this to the top. We got to take this to the top. So we ended up having our next tryout. And when I saw the talent that was at that tryout, I know the coach that I am. I said, if I can do what I do with these guys, with my coaching staff around me, we'll be tough. And after I learned the 7-on-7 game and how to coach the game, all of it came together. And we still pushing to be, one of the top teams, one of the top programs in the nation. It's good when you can compete on every level. That's what I pride myself in. I don't want to have a team that's in 12, you getting their face kicked in, and my 15, you winning. That's not a good feeling. I want everybody to be able to compete. Y'all know I stand on not leaving that tournament first on Sundays. I do not want to do that. So I want to be one of the teams that stand around. My feet kicked off. My shoes are kicked off. My feet hurt. Walking around with socks on. I want to be there last. So my team know I pride myself in that. They know I'm a tough guy as far as that football stuff too. I demand greatness, and we here now. So it's been great.
I kind of want to look real quick, and then Mump, I'll let you take over. But you mentioned the tape measure and just how far you've came. So tell us a little bit about the Natural Sports Complex. How did that come to be, and how big of an asset has that been to the community?
Oh, it's been huge. Actually, the Natural Sports Complex. Okay, the Naturals. First things first. We have almost 28 baseball teams, maybe 23 baseball, maybe 7 softball. So I was training in the parks for a long time. But they always will complain about crazy stuff in my city. He's chopping the grass up with the cleats. He got kids messing. So, I got tired of it. And I'm real cool with our man in my city. So he taught me ways to work through what I was going through. But he was the reason I stayed in the parks for so long because I had a few people trying to kick me out of there. I ended up getting frustrated with it, and I was like, what can I do? And somebody called me, was like, man, they got this guy with this complex was looking to talk to you. And I was like, man, let me go. I walked in and I was amazed. I was like, look how big this is. This is where we need to be. So he offered me an opportunity to train every baseball team he has, every softball team he has. He said, I'm going to pay you to train them, and you can use the complex as you please.
Wow.
Whatever you want to do, whenever you want to, you can walk in here and train. So it was a blessing. I can say that much. It was one of the main blessings Camp Moula I've ever received as far as to be in an indoor complex. Now I got Vertimax, I got plyo boxes, I got everything that I can develop a student athlete with as far as just not doing field drills at the park now. At the park, I'm just doing run around cones, receiver stuff. Now I'm building power, strength, explosion, while teaching positions and everything. And then, we get on the 7-on-7 circuit, and I'm still teaching that same stuff. you know. So I mean, it all comes together with training in 7. If you're a trainer and you got time to get into 7-on-7 and you love football, I think it benefits. It's hella benefits for your kids.
Kind of share with us how do you, you know, I know you got some, you was talking earlier, you got some kids that are transition playing varsity ball. How's that, you know, everybody,
Yep.
you know, for a while there, the 7-on-7 is not real football. Now you're seeing everybody at every level. You see all your major talk show hosts talking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
How's that transitioning for your kids on Friday night?
It's good because you meet a kid, right? You meet those young kids, and you know every kid want to score touchdowns or catch the ball, run around with the ball. So you meet a kid that, say, I got kids that's, like I said, I got kids that's freshmen right now starting varsity ball, playing DB, one of the toughest positions on the field. So I meet these kids at 5th grade, 4th grade playing youth ball, and I'm like, hey, man, you'll be a hell of a DB. He's like, I don't know about that, coach. I like receiver, coach. I like running back. But then they get to 7th and 8th grade and it start changing. Then they get to 9th grade and it's like, coach, they got me playing DB. And it's like, hey, I've been told you look good at DB. So stuff like that is like going to a parent and like, hey, don't let these youth football guys just have your kid run in circles. You got to tap into a position that you see your kid can really play. If he look natural at running the ball and catching the ball, that's what he needs to be doing. If he doesn't, it look like he's always trying hard to catch the ball, or he's not catching 5 out of 10 balls. He's not going to catch the ball on the next level. So we need to start harping into what he really can do, because it's not just about, it's about having fun. We want to have fun, but now it's an investment, man. They got money in this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about money you put in your pocket. I'm talking about scholarship money. The investment and scholarship money is a lot of money. This is money that some people may not be able to see in their whole life. So that's how I look at it. It's like, man, you got to get paid. And how do you want to invest? Do you want to set your kid back by saying, I want to see him score touchdowns? Or you want to sit in a stadium and be bored, but your kid is getting recruited? He's not making many plays, but he's getting recruited. Hella recruited too. So that's where I'm at with it. Just, you know, you always got to iron out the wrinkles. You're teaching parents the same thing that you're trying to teach the kids. You got to invest the right way. You got to work hard. You can't baby them as a parent. Single mothers have that bad. You know, as a coach of 7-on-7, we deal with that a lot. Single mothers don't want to let their baby go. So that's kind of negative towards the kid too, because the kid can stay in that baby phase too long. You know, so teaching a parent how to manage certain things. The position that we're in, we helping people. And if you don't want to, if you don't have a passion about it, eventually you're not going to do it too long. But if you got a passion about it, you always go continue to look on how you can get better. How could you, you know, give more out?
Well, I mean, that's, you know, I've been knowing you, I know, well, probably since you've been in the space. And Coach, I've really seen you guys grow.
Since day one, man. I can remember that one in Mississippi when I lost a gasket out there. He was like, man, I'm gonna get you. The police came in like, yeah, Murphy, they did them bad, but they were like, man, and I think that was the start of our relationship. I was like, dog, that's a good man. He's standing on, you know, business. And I think y'all took a split that next year, and you hit me up and was like, man, I'm splitting. What you think? I was like, man, I'm rocking with you. You know, you showed gratitude to me. You showed your loyalty. You showed that you want to give your best to your customers. So that's what y'all doing. And I just saw y'all boys grow. Man, it's crazy what I see. Like right now, you have a podcast in year 2. Now y'all shining, man. It's big. I'm blessed to grow under your program, you know. You growing motivates teams like us to grow, because I felt like we started kind of on the same path. We started together. We pushed each other, kind of, sort of, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about. Is I think it's, you know, and Ben and I talk about it all the time. It's a holistic approach to how do we help the kids, the parents, but it's the community. How do we help the community? You know, and that's what I hear in your voice in this as we talk here is, hey, you were sowing into community before you got anything out. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's so many guys that are starting new programs and guys that are splitting off with different programs, and they don't have the purpose and the reason. You got to go do things, and you got to, you know, some people say taking an L, but you got to sow seeds in order for you to have a harvest.
Thanks.
Excuse me. And what I've seen from you, I've seen you and your family make sacrifices and travel around the country, never ask for anything, never ask for any favors. And to see your program explode as you guys have over the last few years, it makes me proud.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like we are part of any success that anybody has, especially if we all start together. We want to, that's part of our growth and our family and our community growing. So, with that said, man, kind of how do you, where do you see you guys going in this next phase as things are changing? You got the NIL out here. You got athletes that are now you're starting to have these athletes that are you have your own 4 and 5 stars. They ain't with the bootleggers. You're developing your own next level athlete. How do you see that is changing? Is that changing the game? Is it improving the game? Kind of give us a little background on your progression and thought process in it.
Well, I think now, the first thing was, hey, let's win and get our name out there, right? Let's bring recognition to our program. Secondly, now you start focusing on building relationship with these coaches, so they can trust your word as far as when you're telling them, hey, I got a stud that you might want to see. So I think that's the phase that we're in now, just continuing to build trust with coaches so we can have these guys that's getting these offers. Some guys getting 7-on-7 for a lot of guys, just the brutal truth. A lot of guys getting to 7-on-7 for the wrong reasons. And they be looking for a microwave deal. And I can tell you, it's not going to happen quick for your program. It's not going to happen quick for you. It's going to take a little while for you to be respected like some of the programs. So patience is one, for sure. Passion is one, for sure. And a passionate one, like I say, they want to help people. Once you, like I say, you help one person is addictive. Once you help 5 is even more addictive. Once you get to, man, I got 15 guys playing D1 ball, D2 ball. It's like, this is a lifestyle now. So the kids that you're around start looking at you and start trusting that you go help them. So what you do, you get comfortable because you start winning a little bit and your program is being mentioned with the best, or you continue to build and try to compete with even better teams. So that's where we at with it now. We're trying to stay consistent, keep doing what we're doing, stay strong, and build these relationships. And to be honest, you want to win championships, but after a while, you realize that competing at a high level, winning championship hard. I'm tell you, championship is very hard, 7-on-7. Those games go by quick. You fall down by 2 touchdowns, it might not happen for you. So just learning and being around, walking up to guys that got teams that been in for 15 years. Hey, man, let me talk to you, asking certain questions, just building off of them not even knowing that they motivating you, but just listening to conversations from guys that have been around and taking little pieces that you like and mixing it in with what you want to build and how you want to build it. That's where we at. We've been blessed to earn sponsors through winning. So we spending a little less money on apparel and we spending it on getting on the road and tournament fees. So that's another thing. You want to garnish as many fundraising and sponsors as possible, because then your opportunity is limitless. When you got these sponsors that's going to take care of certain things that need to be taken care of with 7-on-7. Travel is tough, so try to set yourself up to where your players travel a little easier. That's where we at with it. We want to travel better. I told myself I'm going to pick a tournament this year to do a charter bus. Last year we did something. We rented out a few places while we was in town in places and just did team building. Just want to add something to make the program better every year. This year, I think I changed the logo, changed the colors. That's an upgrade for us. We're doing some things different as far as on the back end, and we're going to have a little more as far as apparel this year. So I'm taking it that, kids like gear. It's attractive.
Yes.
So we'll see how that go. But the main goal is continue to grow, man, stay consistent. We don't want to be a team that was good in our first few years and then start falling off. And then it's like, we might not have the team no more. We want to stay one of the top teams in Louisiana. We don't want to be the team that was here for a little while and now we're gone. I plan on being here for a long time. I plan on being here 15, 20 years. You know, as long as God keep me here, I'm going to continue to direct the CM Naturals. I'm going to continue to train. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing. I don't have no thought in my mind about stopping. I just want to continue to get better. If I flip my camera out and I show you right now, man, I got jerseys all over separating already right now. So that's just where I'm at with it. You know, I got time to do some things that a lot of people don't have time to do because I work for myself too. So I'm focused on building this thing into a monster.
Well, I tell you what, when you look at Ben, I just want to say this. When you look at the state of Louisiana, I know when I first got in this space, total respect, but it was only one organization really in the state of Louisiana. That was the Bootleggers. Yep. And, you know, I saw Fuse spit it off and start four-quarter mentality. And you see, you know, his program's definitely putting out some stuff. And then I saw you do CM Naturals. And then, you know, also you got the Dolphins over there. I think you guys are more known than the Bootleggers now, even though they're still a national big brand. I know on our circuit. So
definitely.
So I take my hat off to what you guys have done and showed your leadership and character. I remember meeting Fuse in 2019 when I was at another brand. So just to see you guys have grown up and continue to grow what y'all are doing is, man, it's exciting. So, you know, I once we got the crown winners out the way, I said, well, we got to go get our other guys there in Louisiana, because Louisiana is not Louisiana without having, you know, I think those y'all three organizations in that state. So
yeah, definitely. Y'all, we got a lot of talent out here in Louisiana.
A lot of talent in different parts of it. Ben, let me pass it back to you, man. I know I've kind of talked for a little bit. I know you got some.
It's all good. It's all good. Mump knows I'm a big research guy, right? I like the stats. I like to see what I can find out and, you know, ask kind of some unique and different questions. So one thing I found when I was researching, you know, your all's growth was not only do you teach, you know, training and 7-on-7 and everything like that, but you're also trying to teach life lessons. And this is a recurring theme from our guests that we've had on the podcast that we found. And I think, you know, 7-on-7 gets a bad rap. You know, a lot of people think that it's a money grab, and in some cases it might be. But I can certainly say that you're not doing that, and all the guests that we've had on here aren't doing that. But not only are you wanting to teach those football concepts, but also life lessons as well. And so one thing I found that you've done over the years is you actually bring in police officers to talk to athletes that you're training and members of your team. So kind of talk about the mindset behind that and how that got started.
Yeah, well, actually, this was now I'm gonna say this first. My brother is now police officer, so it's kind of easy now. But when I did it, it was around the time of police brutality and stuff was going crazy. People were getting killed because they weren't handling themselves right when they was getting pulled over by the police or whatever. So I just felt it was a good time to bring a police in, come talk to them about what they need to be doing when they get pulled over, how to manage themselves, what not to do. That's basically where I was with it. And I'm real cool with, like, look, we have the sheriff in our city and we have the city police, and I'm cool with both of those guys. So, like, I can call right now and say, man, this is going on, that's going on, and they're going to come. So basically that's where I was with it. And now my little brother's a police officer, so it's very easy. And they call me to cook for them. So when I call and I need a little voice, they definitely go come through for me. Definitely. It's all about life lessons.
Did you just drop a nugget, secret talent that we don't know nothing about that you cook? Where do you?
Yeah,
I knew about it. I haven't tried it yet, but I got
a catering service, man. Mainly balling and barbecuing, but mainly balling food, balling meats, balling seafoods. That's another thing that I do for myself. I'm big on trying to work for myself, just so I can schedule things how I want to schedule them. Like I said, and I can be at that 7-on-7 every weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah. I learned something new tonight, Ben. Love it.
Man. Yeah, that's one of the things I do. I also pressure wash too. So
I'm very impressed, man. So
yes, sir.
I'm glad that we're having a chance to talk. So.
There's a lot to hey, bro, we can talk all night, man. There's a lot that the people don't know about me. A lot of people just see the passion, they just see me out there in my world coaching, enjoying time with those kids. But there's a book behind Ernest Harvey, baby.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can see. Well, I know one of the things, you're got an opportunity to meet your wife, and I know she makes a sacrifice and she's there as your backbone.
Yep.
So with all the growth,
and she don't even like football, just to put that out there.
Oh, wow.
She don't like football because of how much I like.
Yes. But she loves it on the back end though, man, because you
know. I'm telling you, bro. Like, it's bad. She don't like it. I'd be glad she's making friends with the parents. She make friends with some parents, it'll be cool. But football wise, no.
Well, I mean, the great thing about it is that they do it for us, even though they don't like it. My wife, who's my business partner, don't really know the first thing about football, but she's passionate about building and helping and so on. So I definitely get it. She
most definitely.
She ain't gonna sit down and watch no football game.
So, no, not at all. I turn it on. She going in the back room.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, I know Ernest has won. I mean, if he go in his closet, he's probably got the most collection of DR7 tournaments. I know you got to have that somewhere. Trophy.
Yeah, we got a nice trophy room right now, dog. Real nice trophy room.
I got some new stuff coming for you that I think you're gonna like it.
Man, my feelings was hurt. We didn't get one of them crystal things though.
Yeah. We decided we got some new stuff coming. We're just like you. We're always continue to pull up and try to keep elevating. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
We're looking to launch some new things in 2025, and we're excited about where we can sow some seeds in some of the kids' lives, and help them grow. Hopefully, it can bleed over to some of the parents. We're in talks right now with some financial literacy companies to bring a financial literacy program where we can do a few events to really help people understand how to build wealth, or how to manage their day-to-day life. With our athletes now in our communities, in this community that are going on to get these NIL deals. Some of these kids are making $12,000 a month. Most families haven't seen $5,000 a month come in. So
some young boys getting money.
Yeah, so we got to help them early before the vultures get on them. So I just want to, our passion and our vision is to, hey, let's expose you to some knowledge that you don't have. It's kind of like you and I both. We didn't know we can get scholarship offers until we don't know. And so we want to, DR Sports, we're going to add that to our platform in 25. That's our goal. So we can be able to expose those athletes that can take advantage of it. Some might get the NIL deal, some don't, but at least they've been exposed to what financial literacy and wealth creation is all about.
Yeah, definitely, because those some of those big timers go end up, having agents starting to hit them up early. So they need to learn how not to be taken advantage of. I think LeBron turned down $10 million from Reebok as an 18-year-old.
But then got $100 million for Nike because somebody probably was
telling him how to do it. Yeah. See what I'm saying? That's exactly what we're speaking on.
Hey, Coach, quick research here. I've got you guys for 4 championships and 3 runner-ups since we started DR7. I might be a little off there, but I think I got.
Coach, you way off.
Way off?
You way off, Ben.
We'll have to go back.
Ben. Look, I'm gonna tell you. You remember that time?
Maybe that was 1 year.
That 1 year we went crazy.
Yeah.
We went crazy.
That's what I'm thinking.
We doubled up. We won. We doubled up in Louisiana, then we doubled up in Atlanta.
Yeah,
back to back.
15 and 14.
Back to back.
Yep. Hey, what was that kid number?
Oh, that's what it is. I'm missing the Louisiana. That's what it was. Coach.
Yeah, it was straight love. But yeah, we got a good bit, man. And like I said, DR7 is one of our main platforms. That's the one that we always look at first. We always check your schedule and pick maybe 3. And 3 or 4, we try to get as many as possible. We love the platform as far as DR7. And like I said, I'm loyal to you guys, man. I would never turn my back on some people that I felt like, help us start. Y'all was a big part of what we're doing now. Still a big part of what we're doing. When I see y'all, is genuinely happy.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, man. Is about how do we continue to, help people grow, bring exposure. We're gonna do a lot more live content, a lot more things to promote the athletes in 2025. Really, article writing, scouting, to help. We're starting to see it translate. A lot of things we do on in our 7-on-7 circuit is translating to Friday night, and guys are getting offers where guys 2 years ago nobody knew anything about. Now those kids have got 15, 20 offers now, based on the foundational things we've been able to help them with. They ran our circuit, our scouts wrote about them, we promoted them, and along with whatever they did, but they put it up on Friday night, and people, they're getting those offers. So we're, as you talk about, we're building trust with colleges from a grassroots perspective. That, hey, because we're identifying kids as young as 10 years old, we can see them. Like you was talking about the other kid, you can see that talent. How do you help them? How do you start to promote them? We got colleges asking us for 2028s, 2030s. They want these early lists. So I think as a community, this is how we all continue to help each other based on a network. It's all about networking to help these kids be great. And things we didn't have, we can give back, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's always a good feeling to help somebody. Like I keep on going back to it. Just putting a smile on somebody's face is addictive. It really is. If you notice, I'm always smiling around, the tournament. Even if I'm mad, after we've lost or something didn't go our way, I'm still gonna be all right. It's still fun, you know what I'm saying? So just like being well grounded, man, and you gotta be a model to these kids too. You can't be out there losing your mind, acting how you don't want the kids to act. You know what I'm saying? So it's all on staying on that too, being that cool guy that the kids respect, having fun with them, but also showing them that it's a time to get serious, and life is serious, and you're young men, and life will come at you fast. So we want to prepare you as much as we can.
Absolutely.
I got one more question for you, then we'll close out and let you go. Just thinking about training, you said, you got started around 2015, 2016, around that range. Training wasn't a thing. I mean, I grew up in a small town. I'm from Eastern Kentucky, so we didn't have a lot, but training wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't go to a trainer now, and you're seeing just the explosion of training and the options that these kids have. So how was that to, be a part of one of the first trainers in your area, and then continuing to see the growth in that aspect? And then what value do you think it brings to these kids? Because you don't just have high school kids. I mean, you have 8U kids coming out there and training with you. So what value does it put into their growth and development, training from a young age and on?
Oh, well, first they learn the foundation, and they learn that it's not easy. I try to get them to adapt a college football player mindset as a young age. They're waking up early. They're eating the right things. So you got to prepare your body and your mind for that, because you can't just get to high school and say, all right, I'm ready to click that switch. We want to try to get these guys on a program before they get to junior high and middle school. Once they get to middle school and once they get to high school, it's easy. We want to teach them what they should be doing, what they should not be doing, who they should be hanging with, who they should be hanging with, who they should be watching, who they shouldn't be watching. Because like I said, it's a spider web out here in the streets right now. These kids can go any type of way they want to. So you want to teach them what they shouldn't be doing, most definitely. Even if they call you old school, I get that a lot. Man, you so old school. But at the end of the day, I'd be like, man, I didn't do that. They'd be like, where's the new day? And coach, it don't matter, bro. Like, we just need to stand on principles, especially if you a model to somebody. Like, these kids really like kind of sort of look up to me. And I didn't do nothing as far as football, but when they see me in the community, they happy. I'm talking about, it's like I'm a big time guy in my community, not the, toot my own horn, but I got relationships with a lot of people, man. And a lot of these kids flag my truck down just passing through the neighborhoods. And that shows me that they look to me as, a guy that can help me. For me to just be passing through certain neighborhoods and there's a group of 6 kids. Coach Turk, they flagged the truck down. Stop it, man. I want some gloves. Coach, you got some mouthpieces, man. We need sleeves. Coach, I need this. Coach, when you training again, you got work today? And these are kids that's 10, 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? And just having that impact in my community is enough for me, to be honest, you know. Having a truckload of kids leaving training with me, 8 kids in the back of my truck, dropping them off, stuff like that. It just keeps me humble. You know what I'm saying? It teaches me a lot. I'm a man that stand on faith, so I feel God got me in this position for a reason, and I'm not gonna play around with it. I feel like I'm here for that.
Coach, we greatly appreciate your time. It's been fun to watch your journey and to get to know you more here on the Dedicated Podcast. Looking forward to seeing you in the CM Naturals on the DR7 circuit coming up in
Yes, sir.
2025. You guys always bring the excitement, so we're excited for that and excited to see those new jerseys too. So for Johnathan Mumphrey, I'm Ben Spicer. Thanks to our guest, Coach Ernest Harvey, for joining us here on the Dedicated Podcast. We'll see y'all next time.
I thank y'all, bro. Appreciate y'all. It's love for sure.